I don't have a lot of time. Me and Kitty here are gonna take a pause. Uh, what do what does sailing towards harbors, picking programming languages, and direction in life have to do with each other? This was a thought that came to me in the shower today. Um, Born of honestly a frustration. Uh, I have had a bunch of different people over the course of my life say something like, "You have so much potential," and they use it as this like backhanded compliment way. Again, if I mean, maybe you're somebody watching this who's told me this before, a family member, a authority figure, a boss. Like, fine. Um, I'm not trying to dig on you, the person, but more this, the feedback. It's given in a backhanded compliment way that is done in this way to say, like, you have so much potential, dot, 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 right? And the what comes after the ellipsis there is, but you're not using it. You're not doing it. I recently had some feedback from somebody who uh, told me to make an impact, right? To be impactful. And I realized that what is so frustrating about this is that uh, I I tend to oscillate between two different places in my life, and I'm talking to you, my friend, who I'm assuming you've probably heard this before too, uh, or you know somebody that maybe you've said this to, and it occurs to me that I oscillate between two different places. One, either I'm trying to have an impact, and so when I hear that, I think, oh, that's so disappointing. I thought I was having an impact. I thought I was executing on my potential. And then someone's saying, nah, that wasn't it. But I've tried over the course of my life, 42 years, to say, okay, so what do you want me to do? And it's always, this is what you should have done. But I really struggle to then apply that to future times, right? Because we can look back with the assistance of retrospective, right, with hindsight, and go, well, yeah, clearly that was the wrong choice. Okay, um, but oftentimes when we take these and apply these to the future, it sounds like someone saying, "Hey, how come you dug in the place where there wasn't gold? You clearly should have dug in the place there was gold." Thank you. No duh. uh, so oscillate between that place and then the other place, which is, well, what if I'm trying to execute on your idea of impact and value, and ultimately, if you draw a bell curve, maybe there's some people that are just going to, be on the right side of the bell curve, that they just statistically hit it more often to impact, make an impact and align with people's values. If there is such a statistical analysis, again, I'm imagining here. I don't have data. Uh, I wonder how much the classic "oh, it's a bell curve" would apply to this. But maybe on the left side, right? Maybe I am on the side where I'm striving and I don't seem to align with the idea of like the other person's expectations of impact. Uh, and I suppose like some of that, to be honest, might be laziness or overwhelm or lack of focus or attention. Those are real too. ADHD, we should talk about that sometime. Uh, Spoiler alert, we definitely will. Um, but the shower thought, right? Getting back to the shower thought, here's the thing that hit me was that when I'm trying to make an impact, ultimately, all I can control is myself, and I can't control other people. but it's very easy to lose hope, right? To lose a lot of my lose a lot of my vim and vigor when it's like, man, how many times am I going to try to make an impact for other people's systems and just like swing and miss before you go, maybe I suck at this sport, and you give up, right? That's like I feel a tightness in my chest there, right? I feel emotion. I feel sadness and disappointment, like, like, oh, what a waste. Um, the beauty here is that, like, this is simply I mean, this is a bit of optimism, filter applied, but there is a lot of psychological study and science behind the idea of, the midlife crisis, the quarter life crisis. And what it really is I was striving for a system that in some way, externally was given to me, right? My parents, society, my pastor, my, whoever it is, right? Some external force said, do this and you will be happy. And then you do it for some fixed period and then you burn out. And I have definitely burned out over the past couple years. And so now I'm left going, well, what do I do instead? Part of that is I'm trying to accept that, like, this is a bad shot. I don't like that this isn't a cool wireless mic. I don't like that this is my phone and I'm sitting in front of my cat. Well, the cat's okay. But there's a lot of things going on in my head every day where I'm like, I want to make a video about a topic, and then I think it'll look so bad, right? Or I think, and this is the sneakier one, oh, I need to get better equipment. I need to write a script. I need to, watch 2 hours worth of videos on storytelling or how to speak more eloquently or dictation. It just, yeah. Or AI. Oh, you got to use AI to, like, slice and dice your videos or hire an editor. And so I'm fighting against that by making this. But what I'm really realizing, and this is where we're going to get back to, what do sailing, picking, like a programming language, and finding direction in life have to do with each other? I was realizing that it is a fairly common occurrence for, I've been a programmer now in some shape or form for about 19 years. And almost every single organization or team I'm on, there's always this philosophical and I'd even say religious debate, but certainly like a belief mixed with some logic or, facts kind of thing. Debate about which programming language we should use, right? Should it be JavaScript? Should it be Elixir? Should it be PHP? Should it be C Sharp? Right? And depending on what team you come on, right? I've been programming JavaScript for the past 10 years or so, and very quickly I realized, even in my own opinion, coming from like programming Java's a bit more rigid. It's a bit old, but it's got some features in the language that people go, oh, okay, that's cool. And if you're not a programmer, you're watching this going, hang with me, okay? I'm not going to get too esoteric here. Don't worry. But the idea is that some of these teams I join, it'd be like 75% of the people are like, we like the language. And then I'd be sitting there going, well, but I like a different language, or I don't care. AKA, that's how you want me to act, but it just isn't my jam. Now, for the sake of, wanting to get paid and all that stuff, like, you adapt, you acclimate to things, you decide. But what came to mind today was that sometimes I'll be in these orgs where a leader, and I've been a leader before, and I'm a consummate recovering people pleaser, so I really identify with this. But it is a failing of leadership to have this, like, on the surface, you want to be very, like, democratic or even very, like, laissez-faire, where you're like, we'll just have, like, a way to have all the programming languages people want because we don't want to rock anybody's personal boats, right? We don't want to, like, We don't want to offend people in some way. We don't want to be rejected by people because as a leader, we're hoping, I really want you to like me because in my mind, I think that'll work better. Uh, the trouble is that then you have chaos. And while, I mean, even as these words are like percolating in my mind, my mind is being blown because earlier in my career, I'd think, well, strong, strong, like authoritarian leadership here. Like, I don't know if I like that. It's not a matter of trying to have an ego trip and to slam the hammer and say, by my dictate, we are going to have, right? That's not the point. The point is cohesion. And then my mind goes to, there's this old quote, I'm going to butcher it, but there can be no fair wind for the sailor that knows not to which port he is headed. Actually, that was pretty good. I forget who says it though. But it came to my mind that part of my trouble in my life is that I am oftentimes trying to sail to 10 different ports at a time, right? If I'm trying to maintain and understand and hire for 10 different programming languages for various teams, it's going to be trickier than if I say, trickier. It will have pros and cons to it that it is my hypothesis that are oftentimes misunderstood or not consciously called out, and thus we don't realize the opportunities to accept the cons and to optimize for the pros that we are looking for. And the same way with sailing, right? I have said a few different times, and even recently to my spouse, that I feel like I am running ragged and that I am giving just 100% to all these pursuits, but each of these pursuits get about 10% of my focus. And so each of these pursuits are going, this guy's kind of a putz. He's not that great. And I'm going, well, from your perspective, you are totally correct. But from my perspective, I'm sitting here going, oh my goodness, I am dying. I'm run ragged with trying to keep family and social and church and career races, right? Like I'm trying to sail towards all these ports, and it's not even that easy. It's more like I'm trying to sail towards, well, how do I advance my career and make an impact and be a team player and also help other people and and then maintain also this like, well, but I've been told that I'm too quick to help other people, and so I should help people less. And how do I play this like meta game of career politics and tossing a little Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power and I don't know, the New Testament, and I'm like, oh, and that's just one of those, continents, if you will, with all those ports on it. And then throw in, there you go, there, we're inventing together, you and I, friend, continents, and each of the continents have a bunch of different ports on it. And I'm going, gee, why does it seem like I'm just sitting in the middle of the big ocean and just circling a little bit and occasionally giving progress reports to people going, well, I sailed like 10 miles towards your continent. And they're going, well, I suppose that's something. I think I'm also being a little too harsh on myself. I have accomplished things in my career. I have accomplished things as a father and I'm currently serving as like a lay leadership person in my congregation, my church. I don't get paid for that, and I think I make an impact. People at least smile at me occasionally when I enter the room. But just all these thoughts culminated in wondering if instead, while obviously I can't just say, well, I'm going to quit my job and quit my family and quit church. I mean, I suppose I can say all those things, but I don't want to. I like being a dad. I love being a dad. I love the fulfillment of service and of trying to study the life and words of Jesus Christ. I love trying to understand philosophy and engage people who are not of my faith in the workplace and in the community and stuff like that, to understand their perspective and to learn from them. There's so many awesome things that are not of my, ballpark of familiarity that I want to engage with. So it's not that I don't believe any of these things have value. And I think therein lies the trouble, right? Is that I too want to make an impact. I because another way of looking at that is, who wants to wake up and think, today I want to waste my time? Like I consciously hope that everything I do has no impact. Now, you may, like me, you may debate and go, well, what about the depressed? What if you are depressed, my friend? I certainly have been in dark places of depression over the course of my life, and especially over the past few years. Very familiar with that. That is hard. But even then, even when I wake up and go, well, you're assaulted by the list of, here's all the ways you should be doing things. As I got better at just going, well, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to say, what do I want to do today? That essentially was, well, what impact do I want to have? And sometimes the impact was, I will apply for one job and I will take a shower and I will do the dishes. That's not the biggest impact I hope to have in my life. But on those days, if you're in that spot, keep in mind that you should give yourself a break and give yourself some grace, right? Make that level of impact, and tomorrow you can think about maybe adjusting your trajectory. But in all these cases, the idea is, where do you want to go? Instead of just having all those ports, right? All those, programmers saying it should be over here, come over here. At some point, it's not a matter of those ports being good or bad. It's not a matter of those programming languages or business decisions being the worst or the best. I challenge you to think how often in your job, your career, in your life, you really have been presented with such a clear option so as to pick between absolute good and absolute evil, right? Should I wake up today and unalive a bajillion people, or should I I don't know, save a bajillion orphans? If you have that choice, I certainly hope you choose good, my friend. But I can't recall any obvious times where, the fate of nations or universes were in my hand. But I can think of countless and countless times where the smaller choices to adjust my trajectory were in my hands. And ultimately, spoiler alert, that's all that is ever in my hands. It's all that's ever in your hands. What are you going to do today? What are the values that you value in order to feel fulfilled, right? Feel honest with yourself? Just part of what is feeling honest for me these days is I want to make more videos. And again, if you look at this and you think, what a terrible shot, you're darn right. I thought it before you even got here, my friend, but I'm glad you're here. Yeah, we'll leave it with that. Because my body is betraying me. It's more about reducing the directions you're headed so that you can head there with more progress. I'll see you soon.